Hello, and welcome back to Disrupt Your Norm with Naomi Dunn. Today we are speaking on progress over perfectionism. Now, a lot of people actually view perfectionism in a positive light because they view it as a trait that allows them to get the job done in a really great way. But from what I have seen, perfectionism may help you get the job done, but in a very difficult way. And it often causes you to have a very slow progression to the goal that you desire. Now, wanting things to look good, wanting to do things right is great. But if you are on this slow journey because you are constantly stopping yourself and constantly blocking yourself from taking a step forward because it has to be in your mind perfect, then you're really not getting much closer to the goal at all. And the thing with perfectionism is we have this idea in our mind that perfectionism is required for the goal that we want. But that actually couldn't be further than the truth. If your goal is to do with people, if your goal is to do with relationships, if your goal is to do with selling, if your goal is to do with speaking, if your goal is to do with training, then people are all involved in all of those categories. And what we need to understand about people is people don't desire to see perfectionism in you. People desire to feel good by the words that you are saying. And people don't feel good by seeing and observing someone who is perfect. People feel good when they observe and are around somebody who they can relate to. Nobody can relate to perfect people because nobody is perfect. So, if your desire is, like I said, to do with people, being perfect is not going to get you any closer, but actually further away from your goal. So, that's number one with perfectionism. People don't want to relate to perfect people, people want to relate to people they relate to. All right, number two, what I have on perfectionism is perfectionism makes the goal and makes achieving the goal so much harder than it has to be. And often, when we go on this road of having perfectionistic ideas and demands for ourselves, we don't continue on that road for very long because no one can keep up with that for a very long time. Having perfect expectations for yourself on a road to success actually drains you so much more than you can even imagine because you're putting before yourself an expectation that isn't possible for you because you're a human. And we oftentimes set this expectation in the first place because we expect other people to expect that from us. So, if our goal isn't to do with people, like I had just mentioned, but it's actually to do with ourselves, maybe it's a goal to do with the gym, maybe it's a goal to do with our health or something like that, something to do with ourselves, our mind, our body. Well, there isn't a possibility for you to do it perfectly because you are a human who cannot do things perfect, but you can do things well. And I mentioned in my previous video the topic of failure and how failure isn't a step backwards, but a step forward because it brings you closer to the goal because you've obtained new knowledge that will help you get to the goal faster and easier. This is the same with perfectionism. If you have this perfectionistic idea that you have to obtain the goal with no failure, then you don't have the ability to learn the new things that you need from the mistakes that you make. And those mistakes you make are actually essential oftentimes to get there. So for me, when I went on my fitness journey, I had this perfectionistic idea that I had to work out 6 days a week no matter what. And what happened? I physically burnt myself out. And now I work out less than that and I work out based on my body and based on my needs. And I train less hard, but my physique is exactly where I want it to be. And I didn't need to do what I was doing last time to achieve the physique that I wanted. I just had this expectation that I did. And so I want you to go into your head and ask yourself, these perfectionistic ideas, are they allowing progress for me or slowing down progress? Are these perfectionistic ideas the truth, or is the opposite more true than the truth? Is the idea that I have to have perfect wording, perfect timing, and perfect layout for what I'm trying to show somebody or type up of whatever I'm doing, is that going to get me closer to the goal? Or is being more authentic to myself going to get me closer to the goal? And being authentic to myself isn't perfect because no one's authenticity is perfect. We have flaws, we have faults, but it's actually what makes us more authentic. So have this idea and question it. Where did this come from? Why do I even have this? And could the opposite possibly be more true than what I'm currently telling myself? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope this perspective shift on perfectionism helped you. And I'm sharing this because it's something I highly relate to and related to, and there are times I definitely notice it come up again and I have to unlearn it once again because inner work is sometimes not linear, but every time we learn it, we know more than we did last time. So that's just a little tip I have with inner work. Even if you see a problem come again, that doesn't mean you didn't heal the problem last time. It just means another level of that problem is coming up again. So other levels of perfectionism still sometimes show up with me now, but I can quickly unlearn it and reverse it versus before I couldn't, and it makes my road to the goal so much easier. And that's what I want for you, because I understand that perfectionistic ideas make things so much harder than they have to be and can be so highly discouraging. And that's not what I want for you and for my clients and those that I help. So thank you so much for listening, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.